What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Aaron Nix. I'm here to discuss WWE Smackdown from last night. Now then, the Adam Pearce Roman Reigns saga continues. Scrap Daddy versus Big Daddy. Who's your daddy? Sounds like Vince McMahon made it. It's such good shit. Roman Reigns obviously comes out. He's pretty furious about the fact that Adam Pearce is no longer his opponent at the Royal Rumble. So they've devised a plan, or have they? Paul Heyman basically offers out Adam Pearce. Really good segment, actually. Really like the delivery of this promo. And Adam Pearce is like, yeah, I'll fuck your ass up. I was really looking forward to this. I thought we were actually going to get this fight. Instead, ultimately, of course, card subject to change. It was really well done because obviously, you know, Roman Reigns had pulled some strings apparently so that Kevin Owens wouldn't be at the show. So they kind of left Adam Pearce out. And I think, you know, the plan was to kind of turn the table, so to speak. The head of the table turns the table. There's a lot of terrible puns going on from Michael Cole at this show. They think they've got one up on him. Of course, Paul Heyman's like, oh no, my knee hurts, my knee hurts. By the way, him walking down to the ring, taped fist, but still wearing his whole suit was just very amusing to me. Paul Heyman was excellent on the show, actually. He was really the standout for me. His promo work was fantastic. He strolls down to the ring. You think he's going to get it on with Scrap Daddy? Nah. Roman Reigns comes down instead because, oh no, my knee hurts. Starts kicking the shit out of poor Adam Pearce. A little part of me wanted to see Adam Pearce just go fucking rogue and whoop Roman Reigns' ass. Luckily, before he does too much damage, he's saved by Kevin Owens, who comes down. I really love this segment because I like to be a bit of a mark for my wrestling. Of course, we're all technically smarks because we're all in the know. But I genuinely enjoy it, and I genuinely want to be taken out of my position of reality. I want to suspend my disbelief. And at one point, when he's beating the shit out of Adam Pearce, I'm thinking, come on, surely Nakamura or someone's going to come down if Kevin Owens is in. And Kevin Owens starts beating him up. I'm like, go on, Kev, go on. I was like, proper like, kick his fucking ass, Kev. And he just starts whipping the shit out of him, which was fantastic. Gives him the pop-up powerbomb after a couple of stunners right through the announce table. Loved it. By the way, the way he took the stunner and Roman Reigns kind of went boom and took the sort of back bump into the barrier. Really cool. Really cool. Roman Reigns is really flourishing in this role, and Kevin Owens looks fantastic as his opponent. I don't know why people are complaining about this. I see people on social media saying, oh, you know, I don't want to see Kevin Owens, I want to see somebody else. It's like, you got the Royal Rumble coming up, have a little bit of patience. And this show was really pushing other talents that you want pushed. So I don't know what more you can ask from WWE at this point, really, other than obviously maybe better COVID-19 testing protocols. Just saying. But I enjoyed this segment. Thought it was great. Felt main event. Felt good. I love Kevin Owens. He cut a promo in his car that, frankly, wipes the floor with most guys' promos. You know, he's just sat in a car talking about his grandparents who have sadly passed on. And it was just so well done. I loved it. I really did. All the moving parts of SmackDown this week worked for me. Last week, a lot of it just felt very throwaway. I wasn't particularly fussed about this stuff. Even the obstacle course, I thought this was going to be the real shitter of the show. Oh, God, here we go. Now, was it world-class entertainment? Obviously not, but Bianca Belair is just such a great athlete. My only problem with Bianca Belair's build is that they really do lean way too much on the athletic side of it. Oh, she's a great athlete. Oh, she's, you know, track and field. It's like black and yellow. Just keep going on and on and on about it. And it's like, I want to see depth. I want to see character. I want to see personality. I want to know what it's like for her. You know, I know they've got that documentary coming out. I'm sure that will shed a lot more light on her and it will help humanize her even more to the audience. But I actually thought this segment was okay because they didn't drag it out forever. It wasn't like, oh, here we go, 10, 15 minutes. No, it was just kind of 5 minutes throwaway. Michael Cole, luckily, was dispatched pretty quickly as the host of this, you know, weird segment. Love Bayley's full tracksuit. I don't know who she's getting to design her gear, but every week she seems to have new gear, and it's great. I love it. Obviously, she does the obstacle course, kind of cheats her way around it, as you would expect. The fireman's carry bit with Chad Gable. But the one thing that really popped to me was, of course, when Bianca Belair takes her turn and Otis just pops out, because obviously Bayley, being a nasty heel that she is, she's got to get one over on Bianca Belair. So she makes the obstacle course far more difficult for her run. And instead of carrying Gable, she has to carry Owens. I just like it. It's like, Gable's like, yeah, you feeling good? I got a new challenge for you. And it's like, oh yeah. Love Otis. I don't know why. It's just something so fun. Maybe it's because we're both heavy-set shooters. Maybe that's it. I just kind of thought, you make me smile. Every time he's on TV, makes me smile. You can't help but feel happy when you watch someone like Otis. And, Bianca Belair picks him up. Ain't nothing but a thing. Carries him over the line. Hits the mediocre slam dunk as an NBA fan, if I'm being honest. I have no doubt Bianca Belair could have slam dunked something from far higher than that, let's be honest. And then, of course, Bayley jumps her, They're building this rivalry in a very weird way. Bayley really legitimized herself as the women's champion for so long. So, although I don't hate this angle, I would like to have seen just a little bit more of a serious touch. And hopefully, after she sort of blindsided her from this obstacle course, that's what we're now going to get. You can definitely sort of sense that Vince McMahon's got his fingerprints on this portion of the show. I mean, such good shit. Obstacle courses, that's what people like. That's money. He's obviously just seen Ninja Warrior for the first time and, made a budget version of it. But do you know what? It wasn't terrible. Fair enough. I'll tell you what I loved, actually, that really stood out to me was Big E versus Apollo Crews. I'm really loving Big E, obviously. I've always liked Big E, but I really feel like he's starting to make his mark as a singles wrestler. Now, obviously, Sami Zayn kind of ties into this nicely. Sami Zayn comes down much earlier in the night and he handcuffs himself to the barriers in protest. He's so good at playing the uber liberal, uber Greenpeace kind of douchebag. We all know that kind of person. And I thought this is actually kind of funny, kind of entertaining. He's like almost on hunger strike. It actually reminded me of when Ali G straps himself to the fencing in Ali G and the House, the film. Only the English fans will get this. But it was just like, and then this homeless guy comes along and tosses him off. It's a strange reference. But it did remind me of that a little bit. And I was really hoping someone was going to walk past with chicken dippers and Sami Zayn was going to be like, I can't take it anymore. Chicken dipper? It's like, this is good shit. I enjoy this. This is funny. This is the right side of humour for me because it doesn't overwhelm the programming. Apollo Crews and Big E, right, come out for their IC title match and kicked the shite out of each other. When Apollo Crews kicked him in the face and he just went, boo, just took the tree bump, the tree fall bump where it's like, timber, and he just fell on his back. I was like, damn. Like, he just kicked him square in the fucking face. This was physical. It was so fast-paced. And it was such a good match. And I was really loving it until Sami Zayn decided to ruin it for everybody. Uncuffs himself. He's got a key in front of his documentary team. Jumps in the ring. Helluva kicks both men. Obviously, match is thrown out. But before that, fantastic. And actually, I get on Apollo Crews quite a lot about his lack of charisma. That his lack of promo skills and things like that. But when it comes to actually just outright fighting and outright wrestling, this guy's good shit. I remember Uhaa Nation. And this was good shit too. I really loved this match, actually, until it was ruined by, the extra from MASH. Is what it is. But it was good stuff either way. Cesaro continues to get that push as well, going over Dolph Ziggler in a match. Daniel Bryan kind of promo beforehand was great. It was nice to see Cesaro come down. He's another guy. I have had very strong opinions about Cesaro, Nakamura, guys who, in my opinion, shouldn't be main eventers because they don't have all the tools. But do you know what? Cesaro, especially, more so than Nakamura for my money, starting to really come around to him. His talking is better. Let him just talk normally. I could do without the Dr. Evil impression, though. How about no? That was very strange. I was like, huh. Especially as you're a huge, bold guy like myself. Ultimately, if I had a full shave, I reckon I'd look like a fat Dr. Evil. I'll probably be game for that if we could make enough money for charity. But yeah, I liked it, and his match with Dolph Ziggler was great. And also, he kind of dispatched Dolph Ziggler fairly handily. By the way, Dolph Ziggler coming down on the mic and saying, "Sorry, D-Bry, this isn't 2014." Then proceeding to challenge Cesaro, who I'm pretty sure he must have wrestled on every house show in 2014. I was like, come on, man, you two were like a staple of the mid-card back in 2014. You absolute bullshit. He can get away with that because he's a heel. Still not that big a fan of Dolph Ziggler. And I was a little bit surprised, actually, how quickly Cesaro dispatched him. But that was kind of the thing. They wanted to put a lot of different things in play and make sure that they didn't overwhelm the time frame because it's just 2 hours. And because of that, the show felt very fluid and very fast. Sasha Banks versus Carmella's sommelier, Reginald. Who the fuck are you? Where'd this guy come from? So he's kind of been this, little gimp, this little side project to Carmella's, basically his little bitch. And he has this match with Sasha Banks, and his athleticism was sick. I couldn't believe it. The way he moved, the backflips, the way he was front flipping. He's obviously an NXT graduate, obviously a wrestler in his own right. We kind of figured that anyway because the majority of their extras are wrestlers at the best of times. This guy's obviously been in developmental. I'd like to see him wrestle. Man, full term. I was looking at it and thinking, Jesus, imagine this guy in 205 Live, that's what cracks me up. This guy had the same level of athleticism that you see on AEW or Impact from some of them more high-flying guys, X Division, Cruiserweights, whatever it might be. And yet he had just as good facial expressions. This is a guy who, for all intents and purposes, no one has ever seen wrestle before until now. And it's like, oh, wow. Like, you're actually really good. Sasha Banks looked great in this. Very strange, though, isn't it? Because WWE has very much strayed from the intergender stuff quite a lot. And for them to have this match was a bit of a surprise. One thing I have noticed, though, it's not without critiques, to be fair. There are a couple of times where it's a little bit sloppy. Sasha going for the round the world twice head scissors. Didn't really feel that. It felt like they were trying to do moves for the sake of moves, not to genuinely wrestle at times. That would be my only criticism of it. Hey, I hold AEW accountable for that stuff, so I will hold WWE accountable for it too. But all in all, fantastic. Can't really complain, can you? It was fun. It was entertaining. Carmella at ringside looking, by the way. And also sat next to her fella, Corey Graves. I love how Corey Graves has to sit there and pretend that he's not banging the arse off it. And he's just like, hey Carmella, how's it going? It's like, come on, man. You lucky bastard. By the way, both women looking so good. Reginald was fantastic as well. The meteoras that he took were fucking nasty. Some gnarly meteoras in the match. And of course, Sasha Banks taps him out, makes him look like a bitch. That was cool. And that means, obviously, that Carmella will get her title match because that was the agreement beforehand. I get to wrestle your bitch, and then you get a title shot. So I assume that'll be at the Royal Rumble. And frankly, I'm looking forward to that because the first match was actually good. And I'm hoping they can build on it just a little bit more. Maybe throw a gimmick in there last minute. Not entirely sure. And also, of course, even the matches that, you wouldn't think much of. Baron Corbin dispatched Dominic Mysterio fairly handily. But it was nice to see Dominic Mysterio go out there and wrestle by himself, not have his dad always around him. I've got no problem, obviously, with his dad being at ringside. It's a sweet kind of gimmick and that. But it's nice to see Dominic say, you know what, I'm my own man. I can go out there and do it by myself. This match didn't last very long, but it's a nice little building block, and hopefully it's going to lead to something more later down the line. I like Baron Corbin. I think he does a great job as a heel. Overall, this Smackdown, it just felt really fluid. It just kept flying by nice and quick. Nothing really offended me. By the way, Sonya Deville backstage with Street Profits. That's how you do backstage segments. Street Profits are so fucking funny. So entertaining. The way they're like chatting her up, like, hey, like all this energy. And I just thought, man, I wish I could be as cool as you guys. And by the way, Sonya Deville, if you can find me anyone who wears a suit better than Sonya Deville, I would like to see it. That woman looks so fly, so gangster in a suit. Oh my God. I was just looking at it thinking, oh my God, you literally are dripping with fucking excellence. Sonya Deville looks so good. I've never known a more fashionable woman in all my life. Honestly, I felt like I was watching some sort of Jean-Paul Gaultier like fashion show or something. I was like, damn, that is shiny shit. I was very impressed. I liked it. And also, she got a fruit basket in the end, which is always good. I think they're building to her slowly becoming the GM. Wouldn't surprise me if they're like, oh, Adam Pearce, due to his injury sustained from Roman Reigns, you know, and working towards Sonya Deville as a GM, which isn't too bad. And also the continuity aspect as well. She was backstage talking to Dolph Ziggler. And I like that because they were friends for so long. So I thought that was quite cool. She's obviously going to be a heel manager as well. Be interesting to see how she does, though, because she is quite a credible women's fighter and wrestler in her own right. So it'd be interesting to see whether she branches out and really makes her stamp on the women's division. It would actually be quite cool to see her after Sasha Banks dispatches Carmella, which I'm kind of assuming she will. It'd be nice to see her maybe interject herself into that rivalry and maybe go after the women's championship because she's worthy of it. She's fantastic. Really, really doing a good job as an on-screen personality. Oh, by the way, Riot Squad versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Love this. The image of Charlotte Flair next to Asuka, what an image of excellence. They looked fantastic, both wearing their robes, both dripping with gold, championship gold. They both looked so sick. I loved it. And I really loved their match with the Riot Squad. Built the Riot Squad really well. You know, Billie Kay, once again, her interference kind of cost them. Liv Morgan is just so beautiful in every sense. Like, all the feels when it comes to Liv Morgan. And also so good in the ring. There was a moment earlier this year, or earlier last year, should I say, where they were going to push Liv Morgan, and I genuinely thought, this is it. This is going to be the big push. She's going to get a title shot. And she had matches with Asuka, and, you know, she was going over more important talents like Natalya and things like that. And then they just kind of pulled the plug on it and went back to Riot Squad, and I think that's a shame. But the Riot Squad look good, and let's be honest, they are really the only other legitimate tag team in the women's division. So it was kind of sad to see them lose. Would have liked to have seen them win. But ultimately, of course, Billie Kay, she has to get her nose in. She's quite funny, though. I do find it quite entertaining. Overall, Smackdown, fantastic. Entertained, was easy to watch, only 2 hours long, which is always good. One thing that I will always harp on about with Raw is it's just too long. I don't mind a 3-hour show if it's going to be regularly entertaining, but when 2.5 hours of it is just utter dross like it was this week, it can be disappointing. This show was much smoother, great storytelling, definitely one of the better shows of the week. I really enjoyed it. Probably the second best show I saw this week after Impact Wrestling. I really thought this was fantastic. I really did. And yeah, just loads of stuff to get your teeth into. But let us know what you think, guys. Love to know what you think of Smackdown. Love to know what you think of the videos that we're churning out. Perhaps you'd like me to cover content I'm not currently covering. There are, of course, a plethora of different wrestling organizations that are still going. MLW, Ring of Honor. If you want me to cover that stuff, all you got to do is let me know in the comments. Interact with us. Let us know what you think. But most importantly, like, subscribe. Don't forget, we're getting close to that 200 subscriber mark, which means we'll be giving away a free tee or a free piece of art. So make sure you let your friends know. That's your job for everyone watching. If you enjoyed this, let at least one of your friends who's into wrestling know about the Wrestle Plug. Hopefully we can get more of you on board, more interactions, more fun with our fans, and ultimately I'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug.